The deep freeze continues into February, and you see that our storm is finally departing, heading off the east coast. Looking at the latest satellite, and we have clear skies off to the west that we'll be enjoying for tomorrow. There's the storm, very powerful storm, by the way. And the cold air diving all the way down, all kinds of record lows in Florida. We're going to talk about that. But first, let's talk about the month in review, which we should have here. So let's talk about the month for January 2026, because now it is February. Now, if we didn't have that warm-up in the beginning of the month, we would have had a much colder month. But as you can see, nowhere near the record coldest, even though we've had this cold stretch because the beginning of the month was warm. So at Islip, the average temperature was 29.6, which is 2.3 degrees below normal. The highest temperature was 51 on January 9th and 10th and 14th. The low, which was a record 0 January 31st. We've had 2.5 inches of precipitation, which is still 2.58 inches, which is 71% of normal. However, snowfall was 14.9 inches, which is 4.6 inches above normal. And a lot of sites were above normal with snowfall as well. Central Park also showing 30.4. Your average temperature 3.3 degrees below normal. And it was 13.9 inches of snowfall there, 5.1 inches above normal. We can go and look at the climate reports from here too, which will go as well. Monthly summary, weather summary for Islip. And again, there's your average maximum, which is 36.1, 3.1 degrees below normal. The average minimum of 23.1, 1.5 degrees below normal. And our mean, again, of 2.3 degrees below normal. And 2.58 inches of rain, liquid, which is 1.08 inches below normal, even though we had the big snowstorm. So very interesting, even though we had that, because even though we've had a lot of long, extended dry periods, too, as well at Islip. All right, let's get to what we're talking about here in Florida. And you can see we've got freeze warnings in effect tonight. Cold weather advised, still very cold in Florida. Incredibly cold. 44 in Miami. It got up to 52, and the low is 35 at Miami. That's crazy cold for Florida. And you see, we still got these freeze warnings and cold weather, extreme cold warnings as well, because for Florida, this is extremely cold. And if we look at the lows overnight, you can see how cold it got, below freezing in much of Florida, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. The Panhandle, teens. I mean, that is extremely cold. It's for Florida, very, very unusual, and the high temperatures were only in the 40s. So very, very cold, this is all because of that storm. And I want to point out to you something that happened. We're going to play this video for you, and if you look closely, you might see some sea smoke there. So it's sea smoke because the air is so much colder than the ocean. You can see the sea smoke there on this video here. Really incredible to see. Look at that. So yeah, when it's really that, because the ocean temperatures are like close to 70, and the air temperature is only in the 30s or maybe even 20s, and that's what happens. You get that sea smoke. See if we have a couple of others maybe we could look at here. Take a look at Panamint City Beach might have had it too. Let's see if they had some sea smoke too as well. They might have had some sea smoke too. It's a little too far away to see. Yeah, it's not close. Let's see. It's like the beach is too far away to really see if there's sea smoke or not. Let's see. Had it in the morning here. Yes, and that's snow. This is Pensacola, and there's snow. I think there's snow on the ground there, so I don't see any sea smoke there, but there was sea smoke on the Atlantic side, which is, again, pretty crazy to see sea smoke that far south. Incredible to see. So, there's a little doorbell to see. Let's see, this one might be zoomed in a little bit, so maybe we could see if there was sea smoke this morning out in Fort Lauderdale as well. Oh, yeah. There it is. There it is. You can sort of see it. There it is. You can also see the cumulus also. So yeah, that's incredible. So yeah, that's what sea smoke looks like. It's pretty cool to see. Um, and this bomb cyclone delivers record snowfall. So uh, and iguanas fell too in Florida as well due to the cold. 12 to 16 inches of snow stretched from Charlotte to High Point, North Carolina. The highest reports were a total of 22.5 inches of snow at Faust in the North Carolina mountains. And I think New Bern got a lot of snow too as well. And some areas of South Carolina also got a foot of snow as well. So just incredible. Blizzard conditions all the way down the South Carolina coast. Take a look at this. Near blizzard conditions on the Outer Banks. There's a video right there that was playing for a minute. No, it doesn't want it now, but anyway. So yeah, that's the kind of cold that's going on. Just absolutely crazy kinds of cold for that area. And if we look at our daily climate report for Islip, it was cold today. High of only 19 and a low of 12. 20 degrees below normal on the high, 12 degrees below normal on the low, 15 degrees below normal for the day. Yeah, just frigid. And if we go to our current conditions, which will go back up to our area, we got temperatures in the teens still. And then we got that north wind, too, which was gusty at times. There was some gusts, I think, into the 40s in certain areas. But Islip's 19, and that wind speed is 23 miles an hour, gusting to 32 from the northwest. So, yeah, very windy out there, still making it feel very cold out there. Very hard when you're standing around. So highs generally just around the 20-degree mark today. We got a good deal of high clouds. Got up to 24 at Central Park, and then a little bit warmer in Jersey. They got into the mid-20s. A little bit warmer for them. And then looking at the lows, I don't think we had radiational cooling last night due to the wind. Lows pretty much around 12 across much of Long Island, 10 in Central Park, and, yeah, 12 in Toms River as well. So, yeah, pretty, again, with that wind, kept the temperatures pretty uniform across the area. And you can see there, 19, dew point still low, dew point of 5 there. But, yeah, very cold day today. We had a lot of high clouds of varying levels around today. That's what it looked like outside today. So you could see the high overcast that we had at times. And there was times when the sun was out. There was a lot of jet chunk and contrails, though. But you could see here, yeah, that's the frozen lake there in Wantaw. So let's go to the models now, and we'll talk about if there's any thaw coming up. And I hate to tell you there isn't. So let's go to the GFS here first and look at the jet stream here. And for the sake of continuity, we'll just use the 12Z run because we're going to be looking at the Euro on the 12Z too. So you can see the big trough. And you can see that trough. Look at how far down it went. Crazy. And it's going to stay cold in Florida for another night before it starts finally moderating. And eventually you'll see a little bit of a moderation, but here comes another trough again for Friday into the weekend. Maybe as we get toward the end of the period, in the middle of the month, there might be a warm-up or two. This looks like a kind of LLJ kind of setup, I'm hoping, because I'm getting tired of the snow. I really am. So let's go to the upper air. So here's the upper air. You see, again, that deep trough that went all the way down to Florida. Look at that. Absolutely crazy. Lifts out. We see a little bit of a moderation this week as far as getting close to 30 before another plunge comes down for the weekend of Arctic air. And then, maybe then, we'll start seeing things start improving. At least on the GFS, we'll see some moderation and finally maybe a thaw. So we'll have to wait for the middle of the month, perhaps, finally, because I tell you, this snow and ice is getting... I am tired of walking in it. It needs to melt. So it messes up plans for hiking, too. Because it's just a pain to walk in. So here, again, that big trough. And see, there's the other trough for the weekend. Let's see, is the Euro. The Euro goes through the middle of the month, but it doesn't really show much moderation. They still have that block in Greenland. It's weakens a little bit, but it's still there. So let's go to the temperature anomaly chart on the Euro first. You can see just look at how far deep that cold air went, all the way down to Florida. Nuts. On Monday, you start seeing it wane a little bit. Still very much below normal with those purples over us. And then those purples start turning into blues. But then it drops again on Thursday. And then, boom, looks like, it's warmer in the west, but then, boom, here comes another Arctic blast for the weekend. And that should be the last one, because after that, it's showing warmer than normal. So hopefully we finally do have an end in sight to this. Finally. As much as I like it, it's getting to me because of the snow on the ground. We need to melt that snow. So again, here's the GFS. Let's go to the 12Z run. 12Z. There's that one more Arctic blast for the weekend, and then we see a little bit of a break. So, that will be much, much appreciated at this point. We need a break from it. So here's that low. Moving on out. I see that pressure gradient, but that's going to start weakening. And then we have a high pressure in control. And then we have another storm that might bring a little bit of light snowfall. I'll have to watch for Wednesday morning for Pops, South Jersey. And then this is the GFS. Then another high builds in. And then here we go. Another powerful Arctic front for Friday. And look at that. Saturday is going to have a lot of wind to be extremely blustery. Look at how close those isobars are. And that wind continues into Sunday, too, so because there's a low and then finally it starts easing a little bit as we get toward Monday. And then after that, it looks like, their storm track is going north, and this looks good. This looks like an LLJ type of system right here. We'll get into a warm sector, which is really what we need, but this is 17 days away. So keep that in mind. It is in the long range. Things could change, but it looks like there will be an ease, at least on these models, it's showing that. So here's the European. Again, kind of weaker with that system, and then high pressure builds in, and then we have that Arctic front, which could bring a little snow, too, on Friday afternoon, Friday evening. And then here you go. That low just bombs out offshore, and we get into a really windy, very bitterly cold Saturday and Sunday. Maybe it eases a little bit by Sunday, but and then after that, you could start seeing a little bit of a change here. A little bit of a change. So there you go. That's what it looks like for the longer range. Now let's focus on the shorter range. And we'll go ahead and we'll look at the HRRR. So no precipitation for us. The winds do back off. The isobars are not quite as close together tomorrow. And then there's that it might bring a little bit of light. I really don't think it would amount to much accumulation. Maybe a coating to an inch over southern New Jersey. That's it for that system on Tuesday. Let's look at our dew points and wind flow, because this shows the Arctic air again in place. And you can see we got the north-northwest wind tomorrow becoming northwest. The dew points come up a little bit. They're still pretty low. They drop off at night. And then Tuesday, we have more of a westerly flow, which would hopefully bring in warmer air. I think Tuesday will wind up being perhaps the warmest day of the week at this point. So tonight, will we get radiational cooling? It's possible we will, and if we do, the lows will get close to zero in the Pine Barrens. I don't know, there may be too much wind, but if there is, it'll get close to zero in the Pine Barrens. If not, lows will be around 10 everywhere else. Still cold, still going to start off bitterly cold in the morning. Tomorrow we see highs into the maybe close to 30 tomorrow. Don't think we get above freezing. And then tomorrow night, same thing again. It'll be fairly clear, and the winds will be lighter. There could be some high clouds around, but the winds will be lighter, and you could see lows getting close to zero again, perhaps, in some areas. Again, there'll be a very strong radiational cooling. And then Tuesday, that'll be the warmest day. I think we get close to the freezing mark. Jersey might get above it on Tuesday. And then going beyond that, go to the European here. So beyond that, you see the winds go west. And on Wednesday, we go back to a northwest wind, and then here comes some colder air again. Northwest wind, dry Arctic air comes back for Thursday. Friday, we see the wind go southwest, but then here comes that next plunge, and this is the weekend, and Probably should show you the 12Z because this is going to be bitterly cold air. It's going to come down. Look at these dew points. I mean, that's going to be the coldest shot yet that we're going to be dealing with. Sunday, still dealing with it, and then it starts easing by Monday. But still, this is going to be some very cold air that's going to come down behind this. And you can see Friday. So here's Thursday. Thursday's going to get colder again, probably mid-20s, and then for Friday, we'll have upper 20s, close to 30. But then here comes the Arctic air Saturday morning, and look at Saturday. These are air temperatures. If this is correct, we're not even going to make it to the teens on Saturday. All right, it's highs only in the single digits. And then for Sunday, we get back into the teens, but still very cold. And it'll go below zero, definitely, for a lot of sites Saturday night, Sunday morning. That's going to be a bit of cold shot. And then still below freezing on Monday. And then going into next week, you'll see, all right, finally making it above freezing a little bit. A little bit. Not a huge warm-up, but a little bit of a moderation. So, and if we go to the GFS, 12Z GFS here. There's a GFS also showing that. Not quite as severe with the cold on Saturday, but still, it's going to be really cold. And that wind is going to make it feel unbelievable. Monday, still below freezing. Then we finally start seeing things lift a little bit. Still not really showing much relief until we get maybe toward... It's not really that much relief. It just takes the extreme out. We're still a little bit below normal here. So, yeah, I was hoping, look at that, we'd get some more melting, but it's still going to be tough to melt any of this stuff, especially those mounds. It's ridiculous. So, that's what we got right now. Let's go ahead and look at skies. Actually, I'll go to the HRRR first. We'll look at that. Here is the HRRR. And we'll just look at soundings for tomorrow. I think tomorrow should be a mostly sunny day. I'll pick noon for Long Island. These lines are pretty far apart. That's good. Yep, they're all pretty far apart. So I think tomorrow will be a fairly clear, nice, clear day. So let's go to the RGM and we'll go ahead and look at the skies. So for tomorrow, fairly clear skies. Maybe a few clouds hanging on over the east end of Long Island. Clear skies. Tomorrow night, there might be some high clouds rolling in later, but other than that, I think we'll have some radiational cooling tomorrow night. It's going to be quite chilly, radiational cooling. And then for Tuesday, we'll see some more increasing high clouds. And then Wednesday, it looks like we start off with clouds, and then it clears out. And then that's as far as we got on this run. This model here, here's the GFS, which is a lower resolution model, but you can see what happens here for the weekend. And there could be, again, a lot of instability clouds. We'll have to see what happens here. I came with such extreme cold air, I couldn't even rule out snow showers popping up over the Long Island Sound and moving over Long Island, perhaps. Entirely possible. It's all entirely possible. So it's going to be real cold. So let's go to the Climate Prediction Center here and go to the 6 to 10 day outlook. And we're still below normal temperatures, below normal precipitation for our area. And then the 6 to 10 day still showing us below normal temperatures and near normal precipitation. So it's going to moderate, but yeah, I mean, I don't really see any big thaw coming. We may have to wait toward later in the month for a big thaw. So that's what it's looking like right now. So stay warm out there. I know this is extremely cold weather. As much as I like the cold, it's getting to me even, mainly because of the snow on the ground. It just makes it, again, you get this snow and ice just covering everything and making it very hard to walk around, especially if you want to hike. But even if you don't want to hike and just walk around streets, people don't clear the sidewalks properly. They're not wide enough. They're covered in ice. The crosswalks are covered, and it's not going anywhere. Anyway, I think that's all I got for you. Have a good night.